What's up, guys? Today I wanted to share the results of a little experiment that I've been doing over the past couple months. I've been slowly replacing all of my high-end and luxury skincare with more affordable and drugstore versions. And I will be the first to admit that I usually spend most of my money on skincare formulations because I always have felt like skincare is such an important step. If your skin doesn't look good, your makeup's not gonna look good. So while I generally have no issues buying drugstore makeup, I've just for some reason had it in my head that the luxury skincare is better. And I think that that's what the industry has always sort of pushed to us and wanted us to think. And it's possible that back in the day, there was some truth to that, especially because I remember growing up, a lot of the skincare formulas that I would buy at the drugstore seemed really harsh. Think about like those astringents like Sea Breeze or the St. Ives scrub. And a lot of these formulas always had heavy fragrance to them and would break me out. And so I just started thinking maybe luxury skincare is the way to go. And I've sort of never looked back from that. But times have definitely changed, and there are so many amazing affordable skincare brands out there now that you have to choose from. And as I've been slowly one by one replacing these luxury items with these more affordable alternatives, I can honestly say that I now prefer the more affordable option. So these are not dupes, so I'm not going to sit here and say all of the ingredients are exactly the same, but each product has sort of replaced the high-end version of it, and it performs a similar function, let's put it that way. But no, the ingredients are not going to be the same. And I'm not a cosmetic chemist. I'm not a dermatologist. So I'm not really going to dive deeply into ingredients in this video. I'm just going to sort of tell you my experience and what worked for me. And if you're curious about any of the ingredients of these products, I'll make sure to just link them down below and you can go and check those out if you'd like to. Before we start quickly, if any of you are new here, hi, my name's Jen, and I mostly focus on makeup here on this channel, but every once in a while I do like to talk about skincare as well. And all of my videos are also completely unsponsored. So let's go ahead and jump right in and get started. All right, so first up, let's go ahead and start with cleanser. And I'm gonna be talking about these in the order that I apply them to my face. So for the past year or two, there is one cleanser that I've been using a lot. I know I've talked about it multiple times here on my channel, and I've been through 3 bottles of it. And that is the First Aid Beauty Gel Oil Cleanser. This is $26 for a 5-ounce bottle. And what I really love about this, and I'm just using a picture because I actually don't have it anymore. I completely ran out and the drugstore version has replaced it. So anyway, this cleanser is one of my absolute favorites because it is a gel and it's an oil at the same time. So the oil helps to break down your makeup really effectively. And then because it also has that gel element to it, it's not greasy. So when you go to rinse it off, it just rinses away clean and it doesn't leave that film behind that oil cleansers can. And then that forces you to do a double cleanse. So with this First Aid Beauty Cleanser, I feel like it's a one and done type of process. I wash my face, I rinse, and I am good to go to apply my other products. The only negative to it was that it didn't really work on waterproof makeup. Like if you're wearing a waterproof mascara, for example, I would still feel like I had to go in and use a micellar water or something to clean up residue. But just for everyday makeup that I normally use, whether that's eyeshadow, eyeliner, or a tubing mascara, which is what I typically go for, it worked great for those. So that was just my #1 cleanser for so long until I found this one. This is from La Roche-Posay and it's their Lipicar Gentle Foaming Cleansing Oil. So this one comes in a huge bottle. It's 13.5 fluid ounces, so it's almost triple the size of the First Aid Beauty one. And instead of $26, it's $18. So for this huge bottle, I mean, I've had this now since, I wanna say I got it in June or July. I use it every single day and I'm only down to here. You just really need one pump for your entire face. And I almost feel like this does a better job than the First Aid Beauty one in the sense that it just breaks down my makeup a little bit better. It's a little more effective. And I think it's because it's a thicker formula. It has a little more viscosity to it. So it just stays on your skin a little bit longer as you're working it in. It doesn't just sort of run down your face. So this is an amazing cleanser. It's fragrance free, just like the First Aid Beauty one was. And also it's so gentle. It doesn't strip my skin. I have very dry skin. And so so it doesn't leave it feeling stripped or tight after I wash my face. So this has just been an amazing alternative to that First Aid Beauty cleanser that I was using, and I'll never go back to that one because this is just so much more for your money, and I actually like it even better. Next up, when it comes to toners, I was really enjoying the Laneige Cream Skin Toner. So I have this little one. I did have the bigger one at one point, used that one up, and then I got this little one in a kit a while later, and the regular full size retails for $36 for 5.7 ounces. And what I love about this is just that it's such a nice light layer, a first step to put on right after you cleanse your skin. This is a hydrating milky toner. It has ceramides, and it just feels so comforting on dry skin. I love layering this up multiple times. I'll put a little bit on, let it sink in, then add another layer. And I found that adding these multiple light layers right after cleansing works so much better than just cleansing your face and slapping on a thick moisturizer. I think because these are so thin, they just drench your skin down to a deeper level, and I find that it just really locks in the hydration all day. So this has been a favorite of mine for quite a few years now. But I found another option at the drugstore that I think is pretty much the same thing. So this is from Versed, and it's their Baby Cheeks All-in-One Hydrating Milk. So this is $17 for a 4-ounce bottle. So it's a little bit smaller than the Laneige bottle, which is 5.7, but that one is $36. So it's double the price, but you're only getting another ounce and a half in that one. And this is also a really soothing, comforting, milky toner. It's perfect to put on right after cleansing and to layer up. I've gone through 2 bottles of this now. It has coconut water and bamboo extract. It also has glycerin, which is a humectant to draw water into the skin. So very similar to the Laneige formula, it's going to just add that first light layer. And then once you start putting serums and creams on top of it, it really just lasts the entire day. So this is an amazing affordable alternative. It's not exactly the same as the Laneige. I find this one to be just slightly thicker of a formula, but I do feel like with the Versed toner, the hydration is definitely still there. So I really love this stuff. Then in the wintertime, I'm normally looking for a serum that's gonna help restore my skin's barrier because I have such dry skin. The barrier is compromised, and I usually look for some type of ceramide serum to help replenish that. So one that I've really been loving is from Beekman 1802, and that is their ceramide milk drops, and these are $45 for 1 ounce. And it contains ceramides, it has squalane, it has glycerin, hyaluronic acid, it even has some fruit acids for mild exfoliation, and it's just such a beautiful product. Again, talking about those light layers on top of the toner, it just locks everything in, and it makes my skin feel baby soft and smooth. So I've really been loving this serum for quite a while now, but I recently found something incredibly similar at Target, and this is from Cocoa Kind, and it's their Ceramide Barrier Serum. It already sounds familiar. This is $22 for 1 ounce, so it's the same size bottle, but half the price, and it has such a similar ingredient profile. It has 5 different kinds of ceramides. It also has the squalane, the glycerin. It even has the fruit acids, and it doesn't have the hyaluronic acid, but to be honest, I prefer that because sometimes hyaluronic acid can dry my skin out even more because I live in a really dry environment in the wintertime. My house is dry with the heat running all the time, and hyaluronic acid can work in reverse. If your atmosphere is really dry, it'll kind of pull the moisture out of your skin rather than pulling it in. So I actually prefer the more affordable option more than the luxury product. I mean, they're both really nice. Both of them have that thicker, milky texture that just feels so soothing and comforting on the skin. I mean, they really do feel almost the same going on. I mean, there's really not a whole lot of difference. So I would say save your money and grab this one instead. Next, when it comes to exfoliating serums, I use those usually a couple times a week. I don't use them every day because I find if you have drier skin with a compromised barrier, too much exfoliation isn't a great thing. So you want to use them sparingly. But I would say twice, maybe 3 times a week, I use the Sunday Riley Good Genes. I've actually been through 2 of the full-size bottles, and I have this little sample that I got at Sephora because I ran out of my last full-size bottle bottle a while ago, so this is all I have left, and I haven't repurchased it yet because there is another drugstore serum that I've been using. But just quickly, Good Genes retails for $85 for the 1 ounce size, and its main ingredient is lactic acid, but it also does have licorice to help brighten the skin. It also has lemongrass to act as an astringent, and also arnica and prickly pear to soothe and calm your skin. But the main reason that I got it was for the lactic acid benefits. So that's an alpha hydroxy acid that exfoliates the top layer of your skin. It makes your skin feel so baby smooth and soft. And I find that Good Genes has the added benefit of giving your skin this plump and bouncy sort of feel. And I don't know if that's because the serum itself sort of feels that way. It has a thicker texture. And when you put it on, it's almost like it transfers that texture to your skin. I don't know, it's weird, but I've really enjoyed this product for so many years. And recently I found another exfoliating serum at the drugstore that I thought sounded really interesting. So this is from Olay and it's their super serum. So this one is $34.99 for the 1 ounce size, so that's a lot better than $85. This also contains the lactic acid as well as niacinamide at the top of the ingredient list, but in addition to those, it also has peptides, it has a stabilized form of vitamin C to help brighten, and it has salicylic acid, which is a BHA to help kind of go deeper into the skin. So it's just an all over sort of one and done type of serum where you have all of these really great ingredients coming together just in the one product. I can't say that I've been using it long enough to notice any benefits from the vitamin C or the peptides, but what I mainly bought this for was the lactic acid, since that's the highest in the ingredients, and I feel like it's very comparable to the Sunday Riley in that way, because when I use this, I wake up in the morning to baby smooth skin, just like I did with this one. I would say the biggest difference that I noticed between the two is that the Olay serum is a little thinner and it doesn't give my skin that bouncy texture that I was talking about that the Good Genes does. But other than that, if you're looking for like a real powerhouse serum that has that lactic acid plus a host of other really good ingredients, this might be something to check out. Another exfoliating serum that I've been using for years now is the Paula's Choice BHA Serum. So that's a beta hydroxy acid and salicylic acid in particular. What this does, and I actually learned this during my Sephora training, so I always bring it up in skincare videos, but when I worked at Sephora, they talked about the difference between AHA and BHA. And BHA, specifically salicylic acid, they taught us to remember Sally cleans. So think of a Sally going down deep into your pores and actually cleaning like all of the gunk out of them. Whereas the alpha hydroxy acids just eat up those dead skin cells that are on the surface. So with a BHA, it's going to go a lot deeper. If you have blackheads, if you have clogged pores, it's really going to dig deep down in there and get that stuff out. So I don't use a BHA super often. I'm lucky if I actually use it once a week. Sometimes it's every 2 weeks, basically just when my skin feels a little bit more congested or if it's like a hormonal time and I might be looking at some breakouts. But what I love about it the most is just how smooth it gets my skin and my pores just start to look a little bit more invisible. It really just gives that baby smooth result. But the Paula's Choice serum is $35 for 4 ounces. So I recently found another version from Naturium, and this is $18.99 for 4 ounces. So again, it's half the price. And the ingredient list is almost exactly the same when it comes to the active ingredients. And I haven't noticed a difference whatsoever between this and the Paula's Choice as I'm using them. So I was super happy to find this just at my local Target. It's something that is just as effective as the more expensive version, but I get to spend a little bit less on it. And I just find in general, Naturium's formulas are just out of this world. They're so good. It's just an all-around great skincare brand to check out. And I heard recently that e.l.f. purchased them. So I guess they're the new owners now. I don't know if you'll be able to buy them on the e.l.f. website at some point, but right now they do have most of the products at Target and also on their own website as well. So I'll be sure to leave everything linked down below. Next up, when it comes to retinol, if you watched my last skincare video where I talked about my skincare routine, I mentioned that I haven't used a retinol in several years. And that's mainly because I just had so much irritation from them. I was trying Curology for a while and trying to use tretinoin, and it just irritated my skin, made it look red, dry all the time, flaky, and I never really got past that point. I know people always say stick with it and your skin will come out better on the other side, but months later, I just gave up because I felt like it's just never gonna get better for me. But after that video, a lot of you suggested that I try retinaldehyde, which is a less potent version of Retin A, just something that you can get over the counter. I didn't even really know this, but when it comes to retinols, most over-the-counter products, if you read the ingredient label and it says retinol, that actually has to be converted twice in your skin. When you put that on, it converts into retinaldehyde first, and then it finally converts into Retin A, which is the active form, and that's the tretinoin that you can get a prescription for. So retinaldehyde is that one in the middle, and that's something you can also get over the counter, but it doesn't need to convert twice in your skin. It only has to go once. So it's more potent than regular retinol. So a while ago, I had found this serum from Aven, and this is their Retinol, and it comes in 2 different strengths. You can get 0.05 or 0.1. 0.05 is what you want to start out with if you're new to retinol, and that's what I decided to do just because I wasn't sure how my skin was going to react, and thankfully it's been totally fine. I haven't noticed any adverse effects, which I'm really happy about. The only thing is this, even though you can get this at the drugstore, it's a bit on the pricey side. It's $50 for 1 fluid ounce. So I was looking for something possibly a little bit more on the affordable side, and that's when I found the Retinaldehyde Cream Serum from Naturium. So this one is $29 for 1.7 ounces. So again, the Aven is $50 for 1 ounce. This one is 1.7 ounces for $29. So this is a really good deal. You're getting almost double the product in here for $20 less. And the Naturium version also comes in a 0.05, which is the one that I have, or you can get the 0.1, which is a little bit stronger. So once I've been using this one for a while, maybe when I get down to the bottom of the tube, I'll move up to the 0.1, which is a little stronger. And while it's too soon to tell what my results have been from this because it's only been a couple of weeks, I love that I can use a retinol without irritation, and it's very close to the retinol strength in the prescriptions. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit stronger than just the regular retinol that you find in most over-the-counter products, I think either one of these is a great option to try, but definitely this one because it's a lot less money and I feel like the formula is just as good. I almost like this one a little bit better. It's a little bit more hydrating in this cream serum texture than the Aven, but I think both of these are really great. Oh, I also wanted to mention as well that both of these are fragrance free, so that's another bonus. Next, when it comes to moisturizers, you all probably know how I feel about the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream. Again, I've been through several jars of this, and it's just been my holy grail moisturizer for a few years now. I tend to try to buy it on sale because it's very expensive. It's $72 for the 1.7 ounce jar, and it's just such a beautiful formula. It has Japanese purple rice as one of the main ingredients, and it's in its fermented form, so it's been shown to kind of smooth and brighten the skin. It also has glycerin and dimethicone near the top of the ingredient list, and both of those give it a really thick, rich texture that sits on top of your skin for a while before it sinks in. And that's really what I love about this, because when you have such dry skin, that dewiness that this gives just sticks around for a while. And when I put makeup on top of it, again, the dewiness from this thick cream just sort of comes through. So I love the way this feels on the skin. I don't love that it's heavily fragranced, so I was looking for something similar, and I found this cream again from Coco Kind. So this is their Resurrection Polypeptide Cream, and it comes in a very similar purple jar. When I saw this at Target, it immediately reminded me of Tatcha. So this is actually $27 for the 1.7 ounce jar, which is way, way more affordable. But as far as the texture goes, I do notice a huge difference. The Coco Kind one is a lot thinner and more lightweight. And at the top of the ingredient list is watermelon seed oil, squalane, glycerin, and shea butter. So it has really, really good hydrating ingredients. It also contains resurrection plant extract, which is supposed to help restore hydration and teach your skin how to stay resilient and protect itself from damage. And on top of that, this also has signal peptides to help stimulate collagen in your skin. So I feel like the ingredient list in this is actually superior to the Tatcha, because the Tatcha one doesn't have the peptides, it doesn't have the resurrection plant, it basically has the purple rice, the glycerin, and the dimethicone. It's weird because when I read through the ingredient list of the Tatcha, it honestly doesn't sound that impressive, but I think I've been using it for so long because of how I just love the texture and how it sits on my skin, and I haven't found anything that feels quite like this. But I do think as far as anti-aging ingredients go, this one has it beat by quite a bit. I will say though, when I use this, it doesn't have that same thick, rich feel. It is a lot more lightweight, it sinks right into my skin, and it doesn't leave it feeling dewy. But I think the way that I get around that is when I use this, I typically will pat a face oil on top, and then that helps to kind of still give my skin that dewy look that the Tatcha does. So I'm definitely not claiming that the cocoa kind is the same as the Tatcha. It absolutely isn't, but it's just a really nice moisturizer on its own, and I've really been enjoying using this a lot. And another big bonus for those of you who don't like fragranced products like the Tatcha, this one is fragrance free, so it has that added benefit as well. Another moisturizer I'm sure you guys have all heard me talk about many times is the City Beauty Multi-Action Sculpting Cream. So I have shown my before and after pictures of this before quite a few times. When I started using this, I felt like it helped to firm up my jawline so much. I was really starting to get jowls. I mean, I still am to a degree, but I feel like this keeps them at bay just a little bit. And it has some really great ingredients that help to tighten and firm your skin both instantly and long term. So this cream is $67 for the 1.7 ounce jar. And it has this biopolymer in the formula that is supposed to form a mesh-like network on the skin surface for that immediate tightening effect, which you can definitely feel when you use it. It also has peptides to give your skin a plumper and springier feel over time. And after years of using this, I can definitely say that it's made somewhat of a difference in my skin. I can see it in the before and after pictures, but it is a pricey cream, and also it can be a little bit finicky underneath makeup. Sometimes this formula, because it's so thick and maybe it's something in the way that it dries down with that film, it doesn't always play nicely with primers and foundations. Sometimes it can pill up or make them pill up. I never really know day to day, especially if I'm trying out newer formulas, if this is gonna work with it or not. So I tend to use this at night a little bit more, but over the summer, I found a different moisturizer that I actually wasn't expecting to be a replacement for this, but it kind of ended up being that way. So this is the Eucerin CoQ10 Anti-Wrinkle Face Cream. This is $11.99 for 1.7 ounces. So it's the same size jar, but way less expensive. And I feel like the Eucerin formula is a little bit more lower tech than the City Beauty one. It has very basic ingredients like glycerin, CoQ10, shea butter, beta carotene, but it is fragrance free. The City Beauty one is not. When I use this, even though it doesn't claim to have a tightening effect, I find that I feel that same feeling that I get with the City Beauty. It just gives a little bit of instant firmness to my skin, and it really lasts throughout the day. It's not something that's just brief and then it disappears. I really feel like every time I use this cream, my skin just feels a little bit tighter and a little bit more lifted. And the best thing is, this plays so nicely under makeup. I haven't had any issues with this pilling up or causing any sort of issues, so I have been really happy with this. I do still feel like the City Beauty one has a little bit more of a tightening effect than the Eucerin, but I think it's pretty negligible. And I know the City Beauty does have the peptides in it, but there are other products that I've already talked about, certain serums and things that have peptides. So I don't know that I necessarily need them in my moisturizer too. So I have found myself just reaching for this one over and over again. And I honestly haven't used the City Beauty one in a while. So I think this is awesome. Next up, when it comes to facial oils, I admit that I did get sucked in to the hype of the Drunk Elephant marula oil, which is crazy because it's literally just marula oil and they're charging $68 for 1 fluid ounce. It's just insane. You can get marula oil so much cheaper than that. And one brand that I found that has it, again, is Naturium, and they have their virgin marula oil, same as the Drunk Elephant, and it's $16 for 1 ounce instead of $68, which makes so much more sense. I know that The Ordinary also has one that's even a few dollars cheaper than this one, but I just happened to see this at Target, and I remembered how much I used to love the Drunk Elephant one, so I decided to pick this up instead, and it is a beautiful oil. It's rich in omegas and antioxidants, and it's just so nourishing, but at the same time, it's not greasy. I feel like it sinks into the skin really nicely. It gives a little hint of a glow, but it's not over the top or too much. And I find that when I just put this on top of my skincare at the end of the night, it gives me that little bit of a glow. And when I wake up in the morning, my skin still just looks so glowy and healthy. I notice a big difference on nights that I use this than when I don't, because some mornings I'm standing in front of the mirror and I'm like, oh, my skin looks really good. It's probably because I used this the night before. It really does make a difference. So just know that there are cheaper options out there. If you're looking for a 100% virgin marula oil, try this one or the one from The Ordinary, because I think the Drunk Elephant one is just a ripoff at the end of the day. Why are they charging so much for a 100% marula oil? It doesn't make sense. So it's not worth buying into all of the hype. So anyway, guys, those are my drugstore skincare picks that have replaced my luxury skincare. I would say the only product I'll probably still continue to use on the high-end side, and I know this probably doesn't make sense, is the Tatcha one, just because I love the way my skin looks when I wear it. I can't explain it. I'll continue to use the cocoa kind as well, because I think this is a really good formula, but when my skin is feeling super dry, there's just nothing that beats this. I don't know why. I'm going to keep looking for a dupe for it. Hopefully at some point I can find one. Honestly, all of these other products, I just don't see myself going back to spending the money on the high end. So I would love to hear your thoughts on all of these. Let me know down in the comments if you found affordable skincare that works really well for you, especially if you have more oily skin, because I wasn't really able to speak to that in this video. So for anybody who could be watching that has more oily or combo skin, let everybody know what are some good products for those skin types as well. And I want to thank you all so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. I really, truly appreciate it. If you have some extra time and you'd like to watch another one of my videos, I'll go ahead and put some right up here to check out next. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all in my next one. Take care, guys. Bye.